Hi, this is Joseph Tan here from goodmonday.com. Today we are going to talk about the 4 types of recognition that we can give to individuals. It is important that we realize there are 4 types of recognition because different individuals would require different approach in reaching to their heart. And if we are not sensitive to the ways that people like to be recognized, then we might be missing the mark. Basically, there are the perfectionists. How do we recognize the perfectionists? How do we recognize the peacekeeper? How do we recognize those who seek to be powerful? And how do we recognize the performer? Here we go. For the focus of our video today, we are going to be zooming in on the perfectionist. How do you recognize the perfectionist? There are 3 characteristics of the perfectionist. One is that they would like to get it right. For them, doing what is right and having a high degree of accuracy is very important. If they want to do it right, well, they want to get it right the first time. Also, there is a lot of emphasis on thoroughness. Details, details, details are important to the perfectionist. Being thorough and being comprehensive. Also, the perfectionists like to get down to the root cause. They like to deep dive and to really find out what is it that is causing the problem. What is the gap? What is the issue here that we need to resolve? That is the perfectionist, someone who wants to be right and accurate, a sense of thoroughness, and wanting to deep dive and not just skim over the issue. Now, how then do we recognize the heart of the perfectionist? Here lies the problem, because when we see someone who is a perfectionist, someone who wants to get it right, someone who wants to deep dive and into details, what happens is that we tend to do the opposite. We tend to do the opposite of what they are actually looking for. Meaning, when we see someone who wants to really have a keen and strong interest to get everything in order, we tend to leave them alone. We tend to label them according to their actions and say that, hey, since you want to get everything right and you are so much into the details, why not I just leave you alone and you handle it yourself? But this is exactly the opposite of the type of recognition that the perfectionist is looking for, because their intention is very different from the action that you perceive. You may perceive that they want to be left alone, but actually the recognition that they look for is something else. The issue is this: we tend to judge each other or label each other according to the action of the individual. Whereas, really, if you take a look at the heart of it, we need to understand their intention. In order to appropriately recognize someone in a way that matters to him or her, you need to go beyond the surface action and to understand the intention, and in this case, the intention of the perfectionist. Now, this may sound very odd to you, but the perfectionist has a sensitive heart. The perfectionist is his or her intention is to strive for excellence and to be creative in what he or she is doing. That is her intention. Her intention is not to make life difficult for you. His or her intention is not to impose. In fact, his or her intention is for the good of the people that he or she is interacting with. She is doing it for the good of the organization, for the good of the people. In other words, she has a sensitive heart. He needs people to understand that the intention is not to make life difficult. The intention is for excellence. The intention is to achieve quality. Now, so the person that is a perfectionist, instead of just interpreting their action and leave them alone. We should approach them and be sensitive to their feelings. Now, how then do we appropriately recognize the perfectionist and to consider their intention beyond their action? Let me show you a few steps. You know, for the perfectionist, their action of wanting things to be exactly right can be misinterpreted. So we leave them alone. That is never the thing to do for someone who is a perfectionist. The one thing that you need to do in recognizing them is to take time. Take time to understand. Take time to understand, because they have given a lot of thought. They have given a lot of thinking and analysis to what they want to do. So many times when they actually do it, people do not take time to understand their intention, and that gets them all frustrated. So one of the unique way that you could take to recognize the perfectionist is take time to understand. Ask them why this is done. Ask them, so what do you think? How can this be done better? Just taking time to listen to their ideas and to consider their input, and not to treat them as a bother or a nitpicker, really will go a long way in reaching the heart of the perfectionist. Taking time to listen and to show understanding, it would go a long way for the one who is a perfectionist. Think about it. And we will be covering the other 4 types of recognition in the videos next week: the performer, the powerful, and the peacekeeper. I'm looking forward to it. This is Joseph Tan here from goodmonday.com. Click subscribe if you like this video, or come visit my website for your coaching and facilitation needs.